This video will take you through the principles of referencing using the RSC style. You should have access to the RSC referencing guide, which is on this page, and it will be a good idea if you have this with you to guide you during this video. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify the terminology used when we talk about referencing. You'll be able to understand why you need to cite and reference, and what information you will need to include within a reference. And finally, I will show you how to get help with RSC referencing. When you are referencing using the RSC style, all the in-text referencing is done by using a superscript number. This number is usually entered at the end of the sentence after the full stop, as in the example here. But of course, it can also be used after the relevant word or chemical compound. Your reference list will be at the end of your work, and this is where you will need to list the full details of all of the sources of information that you have used. This list will be in numerical order according to the order of your citations in the text. All the names of the authors need to be given in the reference list, rather than just listing the first three authors and then posting et al. So how does this look in practice? On the screen you can see a draft report, and I have highlighted where the superscript is inserted in yellow, and this is to show that they have been inserted after the full stop or after the relevant word or compound. And you can also see that each superscript number in the text corresponds to an entry within the reference list. And here are some rules that you must remember about listing your references. The references are listed at the end of the main body of the text along with any notes. They should be listed in numerical order according to the order of citations in the text. And if you use the same reference more than once, the original citation number should still be used. It is very important to cite and reference. The first reason is to acknowledge the research contribution of others and avoiding plagiarism. If you do not acknowledge the authors, then you are essentially passing off their ideas as your own, which is plagiarism. Plagiarism can be committed accidentally or not. Either way, it is plagiarism. Ensure that you acknowledge the author and source by correctly citing and referencing the material that you have used. It is also essential to back up your arguments and statements by citing well-researched material. And of course, this takes us to our next point. Citing well-researched material provides evidence for your statements and arguments in your work. And you do this by acknowledging other people's work and research. By using well-researched materials, you are providing the evidence you need to include within your assessment. It also allows others to locate the material that you have used. This is important so that your tutors can follow up on the sources you have viewed and assess the evidence if required. It also demonstrates that you have read around the topic, and this will show your tutor the breadth and depth of your reading. Tutors have said that the first thing they do when marking an assignment is to check the reference list, and tutors can immediately evaluate the reliability, authority, and credibility of the sources you have used by scanning your reference list. And of course, they will be able to distinguish whether you have used academic sources such as books and journal articles or non-academic sources such as web pages. Citation also separates the ideas of others from your ideas, and if you are accurately citing all sources that you have used, it is clear what statements are your own. and of course it is standard academic practice. It's what you're expected to do at university. Now we need to think about referencing in the text. If you're citing a piece of work written by one author, you put the superscript number at the end of the sentence or phrase relating to a particular idea. You don't put it at the end of the paragraph. Similarly, with two authors, you would list the authors, as in the example on the screen, Haywood and Smith, and then you would put the superscript number at the end of the sentence. When you are citing three or more authors, you need to put et al. In italics after the first author's name and put the superscript number at the end of the sentence. So have a think about what elements you would need to put in your reference list if you referenced a book. Pause this video and jot down your ideas. So the information you would need to include is the author, the title of the book, the year of publication, the place of publication, such as Oxford, the publisher, such as Oxford University Press, and the edition statement, if necessary. Here's another quick activity for you. Put this book reference in the right order. Have a look at this reference and decide what order it needs to go in. On the screen is a correctly formatted RSC reference for a book. So the reference should read A. Burrows, Chemistry Cubed, Introducing Inorganic, Organic and Physical Chemistry, Oxford University Press, Oxford, 3rd edition, 2017. And remember, if the edition isn't listed or it's a first edition, you do not need to include an edition statement. When you are citing a book, you need to take special care to put the book's title in italics. It is worth focusing on how to add journals to your reference list as well. Now, always note that the journal's volume number is in bold, and you will usually have to abbreviate the journal's title using the Chemical Abstract Service Source Index. And it's important to remember that journal articles can have one page or many pages. So you need to include the page number or page range. And always remember that if you use the same journal article as a reference more than once, the original citation superscript number should still be used. So here is an example of a properly formatted reference list. And by providing a properly formatted reference list, you can show the tutor the wide range of sources that have been consulted during your assignments. And this will show that you haven't limited yourself to one particular source. So in this list, we can see that we have a book, T.L. Brown, Chemistry, the Central Science, a book written by two authors, Elements of Physical Chemistry, a journal article. Note that the volume number is in bold and it includes the page range. And finally, a web page. Now please remember, when you are including a web page, you need to add when you access the website, so that if the website gets removed or changed, the tutor will know when you have accessed it. If you need any more help with RSC referencing, there is a link to the RSC referencing website on the chemistry subject guide, which you can access through the library's website. And of course, if you have any more questions, please email library@mmu.ac.uk. and please make sure you include your course name and student number within the email. Someone will get back to you within 1 working day. Thank you for watching, and I hope this has been useful.